Hey, what's up?
What's up? We are completely backlit as usual, and this is Sonic AM, your AM music and
Sonic.
Sonic. We talk about culture and events. I play music, sometimes music albums that are out, such as Mania, which we've been featuring a lot this season. This has been our Mania season. And then sometimes just sort of random stuff that we want to. Right now, we are listening to off of the KEZX album project, the second edition. This song is called Don't Come to Seattle by Robert Stanley. And we're just talking about stuff that's going on in the world. There's actually a lot going on. It was daylight savings time, so we sprung forward.
Really?
Yes. It is now, which is why it's noonish. It's a little after noon. Yeah, you missed it. They do it on Sunday now, so it's a little bit better. I mean, it's a little bit better. You don't feel it as much like they used to do it, like randomly on a Tuesday, and then you'd have to like show up for work, like well, people would be late, and like so whatever. But people, what's your feeling on daylight savings time?
Kind of a waste of time. I didn't even realize it would happen.
And
So did we lose an hour?
this is the bad one. Yeah, spring forward, fall back. So spring forward meaning it was somewhere in the middle of the night. It was 2 a.m. and then sometimes 3 a.m. We lost an hour of sleep. I don't know. We get our daylight back. A lot of people talk about abolishing it. If you have anything you'd like to talk to us about, the Sonic hotline is open. Wait. Notes? No. Okay. Do you wanna? If you wanna keep an eye on that.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, the Sonic hotline is open. This is the season finale of our winter season. I will play something off of Mania.
Yeah.
What should we play?
No, now I'm feeling that daylight savings. I'm like, no, yeah, I can
Yeah, it hits you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know that it, especially the spring one, leads to? Well, I don't want to get you. I don't want to put it in your head because you're such a you latch onto data and then you're like, and then it makes you anxious. But no, it leads to higher rates of suicide. It leads to heart attacks and stroke. It leads to our bodies actually statistically, not if you look at the overall population. It has a negative health effect on us, and yet we continue to do it for whatever reason.
That's dumb.
I know. I'm gonna play whatever the second song on the second side is. I think it's not Champion. Oh, it is Champion. Yes. Okay. Okay, and then in music news, we'll start there. There are rumors that.
Oh yeah, I heard a few rumors online that Panic at the Disco is coming out with a new album on the 19th.
Yes.
Because Pete Wentz from Fall Out Boy tweeted out 319 in Roman numerals, and then also there was a video of Brendan Urie brushing his teeth, and on the clock it said 319.
Right on. So.
It's a little conspiracy, but it's something that makes sense.
Boringly, I checked their website and there's nothing. There's no pre-sale. Yeah, it wouldn't be there yet. But you think it's gonna be a secret drop, or not secret? But you think it's gonna be
I think maybe on 319 you're gonna be able to buy it pre-sale.
Pre-order it, or they'll announce that it's coming out, or the first video. You don't think the whole album?
No, probably not.
But you think it's gonna be new Penny. And there was another rumor that they made that a bassist may be involved.
Oh yeah. That was just one thing I saw. One person thought that there was the new bassist is gonna be a girl this time because Brendan Urie followed a girl bassist on Twitter. That's not that much of a clue.
Which could mean he likes her, musically, which could mean that this is a new bassist. Who knows? Yeah, no, who knows? This is speculation. Fan speculation is fun. It's fine. Call or text in with your fan speculation, 646-200-2640. What do you think of that? What do you think about the new Panic? The most recent Panic right now is the live album.
Yeah.
And all of their vinyl is now available. We now have we now have all of their albums on vinyl.
Yes.
And all of them are available on none of them are sold out or rare anymore, but yet, I don't know why I'm just pointing out at random. A couple of them we haven't even listened to yet.
No, yeah.
Yes, this one and Two Weird and Vices and Virtues we have not listened to. I have. We haven't listened to together on vinyl. Yeah, so.
Their first live album was available on vinyl, but it never was.
Right. But yeah, and that's considered an official album? I mean, in the same way. Oh well. Yeah.
I have no idea.
Who knows? In any event,
it's on their Spotify as an album.
Okay. Everything that is available on vinyl, we have on vinyl. So regardless of whether they come out with new material, you can expect more Panic at the Disco next season on the Sonic Roadkill programs. Snoop Dogg also has a new album, a gospel album, coming out on March 16th. Yeah. And he has some classic gospel people singing along with him. Snoop Dogg came out recently talking about, the gun violence and youth, and then someone said, well, go away, Snoop Dogg, you're rapping about gangsta. And I'm like, well, yeah, no, he has, but he also, that No More Gun song that he did with Drake and his daughter in, 2013, and now he's doing a gospel album, which he describes as an album that's entirely about love, which he feels you need to put into the world right now, and it's just all positive. So, that's a thing that exists in the world. I'm going to play off of 9 Inch Nails' Broken. This is...
Has a record ever been made that's like one color on one side and entirely different on the other?
I feel it can be done, and I feel like I've seen it, but I can't think of an example. Because yes, and we definitely have records that are like various splatters where in fact, even Pretty Odd is a good example where it has
mostly green
it's
on the
on one
B-side.
side, because just
mostly purple.
But that felt like more just the randomization of it. I think someone has done it intentionally though, where one side is and if you think of with picture discs, it can be done. Yeah, it can definitely be done. I think this is what I want to play, but we'll find out. This is Pinion and Wish off of 9 Inch Nails, Broken and Fixed. This is the Broken and Fixed vinyl. Fixed is on, speaking of Two Colors, Two Sound Blue vinyl.
Oh, no.
They were two different CCs that came out separately, but are now put together on one vinyl.
There are two vinyls.
Two vinyls, one set. Yes, yes. Other music news, sadder music news. Russ Solomon, the creator of Tower Records, died at 92. Tower Records substantively doesn't exist anymore. They had online a little bit of it. I think still have a little bit of an online presence, but I grew up, I don't know, those stores are iconic. They're part of our, there's a documentary about Tower Records that came out in 2015. I didn't know about that. How about the Panic at the Disco? Talk about the Snoop Dogg. A lot of technology news. You can now have Mario giving you directions on Google Maps.
No.
Yeah, I don't know how important that is. Oh, also, I guess vaguely music news is more, I think, more of an actor, but also technically a musician. Joey Lawrence is bankrupt. Yeah, sorry, whoa. I feel for him, but apparently at the time of his declaring bankruptcy, he had his 2016 BMW, 2014 Bentley. Last one went off the air in 1995. So, maybe he could have adjusted to his life, saying he had some time to it. In any event, Joe, we're thinking about you, Joey Life. We're Blossom fans. Also declaring bankruptcy this week, Players.
I'm not even shocked.
Yeah, one commentator said, R.I.P. my childhood. Speaking of which, Toys R Us has declared bankruptcy. That was a while back. They're now saying they may shut all U.S. stores though. So someone's probably going to buy it out. I remember when KB Toys. Yeah.
Don't know what that is. So that's just saying. I have no idea what that is.
There you go. All right, that was our retail watch. MoviePass, the movie service that we talked a little bit about, I think it's interesting. $9.99 a month, and then you get theoretically one movie a day, so up to 31 movies for $9.99 a month. There are some catches: no 3D movies, no like certain first release, first run release.
Tickets? You get tickets to.
No, you get it's a membership, like a subscription. You get a subscription, and then you can individually choose tickets to individual theaters. Here are some of the things about it. So, theaters aren't involved. The companies that run theaters aren't involved. Not interested. They are trying to get rid of MoviePass, even though MoviePass pays them full retail price for their tickets. MoviePass. How does MoviePass do this? They're operating at a loss. They have huge amounts of venture capital. They're trying to figure out a way to monetize, right? They're trying to figure out a way to make money. In the meantime, like many startups, they're not. So that's how they can afford it. And some of the things, obviously, they're hoping you don't actually see 31 movies in a month. You have to be like unemployed or retired or something to actually take advantage of it in that way. But many people who do use it say, I go to the movies much more than I would have. Oh, the other main catch is there's no snacks and drinks aren't included. So, and that's actually what MoviePass is trying to push to the theaters. Like, why are you fighting us? We're paying full retail price, and people come in and they still pay your crazy enjoyment fees for. So a lot of people say, I have the MoviePass, but when they get to the theater, it still ends up costing me $30, $40 for two people, even with the MoviePass. So that's the other slight catch. In any event, the newest slight catch is MoviePass is tracking your data, which, I mean, that data is the new oil. You're the product. We're the product. And the recent thing, the CEO came out and said, we know where, once you've bought your ticket, or once you've opened up the app, they have GPS location notifications are on. They know where and how you drive, where you drive after the theater, and they're keeping track of that. Theoretically, they could create packages, like restaurant packages, offer you ad sponsorships. Just like Google's sponsored ads or whatever, that could be, for a lot of people, that could be fine. Oh, cool. Theater near, restaurant near me, half off on a meal. We just saw a movie. I like this idea.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, it could feel invasive and so this idea that they're.
I've accepted that everybody's. I mean, I was kind of already born into it, and people have been all the grown-ups are like, this is crazy, but I was kind of always lived with the government spying on me. Or.
Do you feel that's pretty consensus among people your age?
I don't think people my age are
think
aware.
about it, or they don't. It's not something people talk about, so it's not what they're concerned about. If they were concerned about it, they'd be talking about, thinking about it.
They're not aware of it.
Do you think they would be if they were, though? Or do you think they'd have the same attitude as you, as like, y'all are freaking out over nothing? I mean, it's what you would, even if they're not specifically aware of all the things, it's what they would expect everywhere. There are cameras everywhere. Like, for me, it still feels like that camera wasn't there before, but for someone, you grew up in a world where,
There's security cameras all over my screen.
Right. Your birth was not filmed, but going back as far as the 80s, people did videotape births, and so, many people, including even my generation, grew up in a documented world, grew up in you know what they're giving you. I tend to emotionally, personally sort of accept it too. Things I used to really, really freak out about, I'm like, ooh, but I want a 35% off coupon. I will give them all my data for that. Like, even when it's voluntary, I find myself, I don't care anymore the way I used to. I don't know.
People always like, don't give out your social security number. I'm like, I don't know myself. Like, who knows that? That's
I know your social security number, and I don't give it out.
Well, obviously not.
So that was I'm sorry, I'm yelling. That was some Fall Out Boy. That was Nine Inch Nails. We're listening to Suicidal Tendencies. We're super backward. Like I said, I'm going to redesign the set and then do something with the lighting. I kind of like, it's kind of like a running joke. Like I even like a witness relocation program show. Like, I don't know. But I am going to do something about it for next season. What do you think about corporations and big data and invasiveness. I don't know. Here, call in, text in, blah blah blah. Remember the Fyre Festival, the whole thing in, this was in the Caribbean where Ja Rule and this guy were going to have this big festival and all the like big Instagram influencers were promoting it, and at the last minute it got canceled, but a lot of people showed up and they got those like, yeah, you remember this? Okay, so it turns out that that guy spent millions and millions and millions of dollars. Like on one hand, it's like, he was a scammer and he ran off with anyone's money. On the other hand, it seems he was really trying to put, like, he spent $18,000 on carpets. He spent, like, thousands and thousands of dollars on these tents that turned out to be, like, FEMA tents. Like, basically the same tent they give you if your, like, house has been torn down by a hurricane. He was promising, like, luxury, like, beachfront accommodations, and they were these, like, hurricane tents. He spent $160,000 on a yacht for Blink 182, who actually ended up pulling out before, they never even got to ride on their yacht because they pulled out long before they figured out this is going to be a disaster. And they said, you know, because we don't feel that this is going to, they were one of the first people that, like, the first signs, like, because we don't feel that this would be a good experience for our fans, we're going to have to pull out, and we're sorry, and blah, 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 and refunds, but we're not going to put our name on something that we don't feel is of high quality. And then, in any event, he's being sued and whatnot. Martin Scarelli, the pharma bro guy, the guy who raised the price on various drugs, but that's not what he's going to jail for. He's going to jail for 7 years. He apparently cried in court and said he's repentant. He's apparently teaching inmates math. The judge said, "Great, I hope you continue doing that and bettering yourself as a person." But
what did he do?
Okay, so what he actually did was, what he was actually what he was actually convicted of was scamming investors. What his defense was, in the end, the investors he scammed made more money back than, they actually turned a profit with him, but the only reason they did that was because that's when he raised the prices. He knew he was being caught, so that's when he raised the prices on those other drugs. Somehow, you know, so he... It's more than a technicality, because he really was trying to scam people, and he continued to do it after he got caught. Like, he really had this, like, at the same time, people say he has a personality disorder, or even doctors say he's actually now been, a judge ordered a mental evaluation and he's been diagnosed. Unspecified, a mood disorder, an anxiety disorder, an unspecified. I've always had a weird, like, he comes off as so smug and whatnot, but then, and he's such a troll. Like, he's the guy who bought the Wu-Tang album for $2 million and then refused to, like, play it or let anyone listen to it, and, like, once threatened to break it and then sold it on eBay, but then it didn't sell on eBay, and, like, I kind of get trolls. I kind of, like, part of me appreciates them, but also part of me always saw it as a weird, like, cry for, like, I don't know. He adopted a cat. You know, people who were sympathetic came to court and also testified in favor. The judge was not ultimately sympathetic. He's going to federal court. There is no time off for good. There's time off for good behavior, but no, there's no parole board. So he's going to serve much, if not all, of the 7 years. He will get credit for the 6 months he served. Alexa, random creepy laughing. Did you know about this? Okay, Alexas were, okay, this is good.
Terrible.
Okay, yes. The first person who reported said they were turning their lights off, and they asked Alexa to turn the lights off. Instead, Alexa didn't turn the lights off, so Alexa refused, and then just or whatever, like, however Alexa laughs, just laughs. So the other people started reporting this. Finally, Amazon figured out what happened was Alexa was interpreting various commands as Alexa laugh. So when you said Alexa lights off, they heard Alexa laugh. And so she did, you know, so now you have to say, Alexa, I want to hear you laugh. Oh, they've lengthened the statement so that it doesn't happen. But apparently,
that's
like, yeah, people were like, oh my God, I'm not sleeping tonight. Oh my God, like, that sounds like the scariest thing in the world.
Alexa, lights up.
And then we talked about this. A Chinese toddler locked his mom's iPhone for 48 years because every time you enter in the password, it locks it for.
Yeah.
And
some people have it so when their iPhone is turned after 10 times, it'll erase your data.
No, and I think that's how Android is. That's how my
You can turn that off.
Okay, that's how my work Samsung is, and they I'm not allowed to change it because if someone steals our work, it does have sensitive data on it. So sensitive. I'm not with the government. I'm a toddler teacher, but it is it's for families and for people. It's private and so our work phones locked.
Mr. FBI.
I'm not Mr. FBI. I made it sound like with the witness relocation. I'm making it sound unfortunately, much more interesting than it actually is.
Your job's cool.
My job is cool. I like helping people. As always, anytime I mention my job,
your knee is still terrifying. I'm sorry.
I'll show it. Yeah, I have my tights are showing through my knee, and you insist it looks like some horror movie.
Yeah, it looks like it's missing your skin.
Yeah, I know.
There. When I just look over real quickly, that's the most terrifying thing.
Now.
I woke up this morning, I was like,
Now I can't get the camera back. Uh-oh. That's okay. We're probably more or less.
Just like, good morning. What the hell? Like your knee looked like it was bleeding. But then I looked over and I'm like, no. Because it's just that one part. It's like, is that like your gummy bear one?
It's like some kind of candy. Yeah, they're like some kind of jelly candy. Okay. I'm not going to tackle that because it's too big. That has nothing to do with anything. Sorry, do you have anything you would like to share while I go through this?
My Sim got married and had a kid.
Yes, talk about it. You are playing The Sims now.
I downloaded The Sims and then so I played for like 10 hours yesterday or something. I earned an achievement for how long I played. I'm not even joking. I'm not even not air quoting. No, I get it. But this really is like I should be in a shadow and like my voice should be distorted. I have talked about my own Sims addiction, like actual like addiction. So, proceed with caution, but be a little more chill.
No, it's fun though. It's fun and it's So your Sim got married, your Sim had a kid, your kid is no, all of that's great. And your Sim is in the entertainment world.
Yeah, I have no idea what he does. Honestly, I have no idea what his job is. But no, I have no idea what I'm gonna do next. He's already married and has a kid. What am I gonna do now?
You're like, I'm already. Yeah. What does Dante do?
Dante is a coder.
Oh, he's a coder. He's a tech bro. Yes. Oh, we talked about yes. So Merriam-Webster has added, as they do every year, a number of words in the dictionary, and every year people like to report on it, and people kind of think it's like funny and it's like pop culture. What people don't realize, it's not like the dictionary being kind of whimsical, like haha, it would be funny to add these words to the dictionary. It really is. The reason these words and not others is because these words have somehow made their way into mainstream journalism, into one way or another they've become, or a politician has tweeted them, or they've become part of the record one way or another, such that someone has a right to look them up. And it's not that the dictionary thinks it's cute or funny to add things at random, because a lot of people say, oh, they're just, every year, people report on it, and then people go, oh my God, what is the world coming to? So here's some of the words that are now in the dictionary. These are kind of words. Okay, so the actual word of the year, it wasn't the word of this year, it was the word of 2016, but here we are. Dumpster fire. Yes, it's a phrase, but dumpster fire.
There's one word?
It goes in the dictionary. You know how compound words. It's a compound word. Glamping.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, technically a word and something that, people use often enough. Mansplain. I don't need to mansplain that to anyone. Wordy, and we were talking about this one. I don't like wordy or foodie. I like food, and I like words, but I want to be as far away. Go ahead.
I like those. I didn't know wordy was a thing.
I didn't either. Yeah, no. Foodie I at least knew about. Wordy I didn't even know about, and I'm already like, but you're okay with foodie? You would be a foodie?
I would not be a foodie,
oh, okay.
But I accept that is a thing.
Here's a random one. Whelp. WELP. Whelp. It means
Like,
in
well,
summation.
oh well.
Yes, it means yeah. Life hack again, compound, but yeah. Okay. Embiggens. This one makes me so mad.
What word?
Embiggens. Embiggens.
What does it mean?
To make something bigger. It is even the dictionary people the editors who were responsible for explaining how these words got into the dictionary had to explain basically this word came about as a misunderstanding or misuse of the word emboldened. When someone is emboldened to do something, they feel ready to take power. But you're not it is not a word that is now a word because people have used. So I get why people get mad when these things enter, but it is embiggens.
Do you know what okay stands for?
Oh, tell me. Yes, go for it.
Okay. So okay actually comes from when people would say all correct, but then as like slang they would spell it O-L-L and then correct with a K.
Yes.
Say all correct as a joke. This is for like the 1920s.
Yes.
And then so it just got turned to okay, and then okay became a word.
Yes. I'm super cool with that. Yeah, no, and I love okay, and I love spelling okay, O period K period, and I love spelling O-K-A-Y, like as a word. I'm okay with okay, and I'm okay with a lot of things that other people, language should be flexible. And language is flexible whether you want it to be or not, so.
Like imagine saying all correct every time you meant to say okay. You're like, all correct!
And then we talk about, of the clock. And then a lot of the other words that entered the dictionary came about as by way of technology, which is, cryptocurrency, blockchain, ICO, which is initial coin offering. Oh my God! In local sports news, Richard Sherman is reportedly signing to the 49ers. We have mixed. Honestly, I feel like two things. After we won the Super Bowl, and after the whole Colin Kaepernick thing, the taking a knee, and then the Seahawks were some of the first players to support him. After that, he's no longer with the 49ers. But he was on the 49ers. I feel like that rivalry has softened. That we're like 40. And I also feel after Denver went to the Super Bowl after we did, and we definitely didn't want the Patriots to win, that rivalry has softened. I can't speak for all of Seattle, but I feel like after we run, we're not super competitive people by nature, and after we won the Super Bowl, we're not at all. We're just kind of like, we're cool. They're our neighbors. They're not our rivals, but maybe. But in any event, for me, when I think of the Legion of Boom is now all in California. Marshawn Lynch plays for the Raiders. Oh, I'm sorry. The Raiders are the Raiders actually in Las Vegas? I can't even process this now. The Oakland Raiders are now in Las Vegas, and Marshawn Lynch plays for them. And Richard Sherman will be going to San Francisco, and that's, I don't know. Seahawks will have to rebuild that brand.
Oakland and San Francisco
Why does LA have two teams?
LA has two teams.
Yes. Whatever. You talk to the league commissioner. I don't know anything about that. That's business. That's not like fan driven. That's not. I mean, to me, that's business and money. But no, I'm glad Las Vegas has a team now, and I'm kind of.
Did Vegas not have a team?
Vegas did. Yeah, it's an expansion team. So they didn't have a team before, but I feel like the Oakland Raiders are iconic. But I guess the Raiders didn't even start off with Oakland, so. Oh no, they were. Whatever. Yeah, I'm not the historian. Matt Fury, the creator of Pepe the Frog, is officially suing InfoWars for copyright infringement for trademark infringement. That's kind of cool. We're talking about dumpster fires. In other tech news, Apple employees have been walking in. They're big, fancy, glass domed. They built this office out in the desert, but it's huge, and it's got the green spaces enclosed, and it's fancy, but it's got these miles of glass walls that employees keep walking into. They can't tell the difference between windows and doorways. They've had to actually call 911, and now Apple is putting a very low-tech solution, stickers, on the windows to be on the door to be hey, don't walk through here. So
not a door.
Not a door. We mentioned Pretty Odd. Let's play something off of Pretty Odd. Not 9 in the afternoon, which I always play. Which I play.
Ooh, She Had the World.
Okay.
That's the wrong side.
Are you? Is that true?
Yes.
This is the B-side? You're right. You're right. And then it's the third from the last. Let's see. We run a really high-tech, tight ship around here. Yes. She held the world upon a string, but she didn't ever hold me. Oh, and then Russell Wilson has been playing with the New York Yankees. He actually pitched against in a spring training game, not an actual. So Russell.
Oh yeah. No,
Russell Wilson, yes, right. Has played in the minor leagues before. He was with the Colorado Rockies in 2010. He in college, like many players, he was a multi-sport player, but he ended up being drafted to the NFL. Very few players have been pro in more than one sport, and it doesn't look like he's going to go pro. He didn't do incredibly well, but it was, I think, still fun to see for fans to see, and like that's just, I like that. I like when yeah. And I can announce for next season we have a real sponsor, kind of, not really, not for the show. I filled out a questionnaire and I've been accepted into the Haynes partner program, preferred, so they're going to send me free stuff to review.
Really?
And it's not because they know we have a show and they're like, hey, we're doing a show. That would be awesome. And if you want to sponsor the show, get in touch. But yeah, no, hopefully they're going to send us cool, like, free new stuff for Haynes and we can review it. So, yes, Haynes. And we like it. We already like Haynes, so we'll give them a plug either way.
Yeah.
Did we want to talk about Love, Simon that's coming out next week? Yes?
Yeah. Next week, I think.
Yeah, sometime. No, we're excited about that. We're going to go see that. We're still talking about Black Panther. You and I have been watching a lot of Steven Universe. I will get it. Not that anyone, I don't know why, I'm just assuming people know what Steven Universe looks like. But yes, Steven, believe in Steven. We watched season 1 of Rick and Morty. You've watched all this, but this is all kind of new to me because I'm old. We went and saw Black Panther, which we like. This really is like a season end review.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about this book? Do you want to show some pictures from this book?
Yeah, this book's cool.
Yes, it seems. Go for it.
It's like the LGBT community threw out like a bunch of times.
Yes.
Actually, I've seen this photo.
Yes.
That they used for the cover. But I like this part. Just like.
Yes. Oh, speaking of comics and history, Xanadu Comics closed. That kind of made me sad. Okay, I'm going to choose our closing song, and this is going to be it for the season. Coming up next season, more of the same. We talked about the bands we like, Fall Out Boy, Panic at the Disco, those bands. We talk about culture that we like. Stranger Things, we'll have whatever Stranger Things reporting, including 3 new characters. There's a mayor character and a journalist character that are confirmed for the next season. They haven't been cast yet, but they have been confirmed.
What about the 3rd character?
That it's an older woman in the neighborhood who's like a nosy busybody lady.